Hello YouTube, this is Marauders here, and this is the G-Story Ultra Thin Portable HDMI monitor. Okay, so it's basically one of those super thin portable monitors. You can see it's super thin. This isn't actually a physical stand though. This is actually a magnetized piece of rubber, pleather, which forms the basis of a stand. So you're supposed to just fold it out, and boom, you have a stand. First complaint is, of course, this is a bit flimsy. The only way this thing is not slipping off is because of the legs. There are two rubber feet here at the bottom of the monitor that's using friction to keep it open. So if you have a slightly unbalanced or slippery surface, this probably won't keep its shape. So minor complaint. Second minor complaint, this thing smelled like raw fish when I first got it. Yeah. Even Wenzen and Wenhe was asking what the heck was that smell in the room when I opened it. Oof. Okay, on the side, this is a little rocker. You can just up, down and push it in. So that's for setting the menu options. And as for inputs, you get, let's see now, you get a USB-C power. Then on the top is another USB-C, that's for data and power. And for the input, for the video input, this is actually a HDMI mini and not a full HDMI jack. And then you have another USB mini A. That's for doing the pass-through of the USB hub, which we'll get to that. And finally, you get there's one audio jack. Now, if you're familiar with the other G-Story monitors, there's something interesting about this new one, which is the fact that this is the first G-Story monitor that actually supports USB power supply. So you can actually power it via USB. So here I have a USB-C cable. I'm gonna plug it into the switches USB port. I'm gonna plug in the power, and a little light will come up here to indicate that there's power. And I'm gonna plug in the HDMI. So HDMI mini. Turn on the switch. And boom, we got it. Okay. Looks good. And I'm just okay. I can't really show much about the brightness through the cameras. It seems bright enough to me when you bring it up to the maximum. So not much complaints there. And then let me just get to the volume switching. So this is at maximum volume right now. I feel that it's a bit soft. It could be possible is because that the speakers are actually coming from the bottom of the screen, so it doesn't really pump it out that great. I guess if you're sitting right in front of it, it works, but I do find it a little bit soft. Let me just turn down the volume again. Now, one thing is that when we have an external monitor like this, especially if it's for gaming, there's one major concern that we usually have is that, is the refresh rate fast enough for us to play games on it? I can really fully test it. The specs sheet on the box says that it is 8 milliseconds refresh rate, And of course, it even supports AMD Free Sync, so I'm gonna guess there isn't any real problems with display lag. It should just work as any of your normal TVs. So yeah, it should work as fine as a typical HDMI TV. Now, one thing, if you're wondering, is that yes, because this is a HDMI mini, you're gonna need to get if you want to plug it into your switch dock, you're gonna need a HDMI to HDMI mini cable. And G Story was kind enough to provide that in the box, along with a USB-C cable to power the monitor. Unfortunately, see, this is the cable that came with the monitor itself. It doesn't work. So right now I'm actually using another one of my USB-C cables. So yeah, I thought there was some special things with the cable, but yeah, it just doesn't work. It's not working properly. The cable that came in the box didn't work properly. I had to get my own USB-C cable. And just to demonstrate, like I said, this is the first G Story monitor that has a that allows you to power it via USB-C. So therefore, you can actually just power it using a normal power supply, normal battery pack. Okay, so this is great. I mean, it has it's really good for portable use. You can just take it and carry it around with you very easily, since it's so thin and it runs off the USB power supply. Okay, now because this is basically just a portable HDMI monitor. So of course, if you had something like a computer, let's say if you're working or something. So let's say you have a computer. So I have my Surface Go here. So of course I can just plug in the HDMI and power supply and output to this monitor, to this portable monitor as well. But the cool thing about it is that because this monitor, remember I mentioned that there's a USB data port. So if you went and acquired a compliant USB-C to C cable, which I got this for free when I got the monitor. So this is a G Story branded USB-C to C cable. You can use any other compliant USB-C to C cable with this. Is that you need a USB-C to C cable that can carry the video signals, the alternate mode. So if I plug this USB-C cable into my computer and then I plug it into the data port of the monitor, and there you go. Notice this is a one-wire solution to a portable monitor. And this is great, and so I can actually carry this around on my day job when I need multi-monitor to deal with my code and everything. This is a very good use because you basically can you only need to carry a super thin monitor. This thing really doesn't weigh too much, it just looks like another tablet. And you just carry with one cable, you can just get a multiple display. That's fantastic. Okay, now if you're wondering, now let's talk about the one last feature that this monitor has been touting, which I have not yet tested before because I'm a bit afraid of testing it. Let me just show you what it is. Okay, so this is the G Story website for this monitor. Okay, they're talking about it. They actually have a few models of this. They might actually have a touchscreen and a 4K model, but this is just a 1080p only. Oh, and the monitor supposedly supports HDR, but I don't have anything to test it. So one of the most interesting things that I saw it being supported was, look at this. They have a switch connected to the monitor via only the USB-C cable and nothing else. So you need to use a USB PD compliant power supply to power the monitor, and then you connect the USB-C to C cable to the switch and it just works. You don't need to bring the dock, okay? So I haven't tried this yet because, as some of you would know from experience, the switch might burn out because of what I'm doing here. So I decided to wait until I'm recording this video in order to test it. So let's see. So here I have a power bank. So this power bank is supposedly power delivery compliant. I don't really have any way to test it. I have this cable, this C2C cable is again supposedly a power delivery compliant cable. So I'm gonna plug this in. Okay, monitor is receiving power, and okay, switch, don't die on me. I'm gonna plug this in now. Oh! It works! And my switch isn't blowing up, which is great. I guess the only thing I can say is it's not blowing up yet. So the interesting thing now here is that not only can we portably have a nice big 15.6 inch screen portably for the switch, and I don't have to bring the dock, I just need to bring the cables and the battery pack. You can't tell here, but if everything's working properly, this setup should actually charge the switch as well. So wow, does this mean that this really can be a pretty neat portable way to game with your switch? Especially if you're like going to a hotel or something and okay, not just a hotel, maybe you're going to a cafe in some sort of Starbucks or something, and you just, after working, you want to play with your switch a bit. Let's see. Everything works. Hey, this is pretty neat. I hope that I don't burn up the thing right after I stop recording. Okay, let me just turn it down. So okay, this is the G-Story portable 1080p monitor. It's pretty neat because I got this mainly for my work uses, but of course the fact that it's just a HDMI monitor and it works so well with the switch means it's an added plus for me. A few things to note. In the box for the monitor, they come in this little bag for you to just keep all the cables together, and it also comes with a remote to access the monitor settings on the screen. There are actually a lot more for you to tune, like what's the HDR mode, whether Free Sync is on, and stuff like that. I can't really test that. It's not like I have a PS4 Pro or anything. Other than that, yeah, it's a cool screen. I mean, if you feel that you need to get some way to just have a portable HDMI monitor you can carry around. And the main thing here is that unlike their previous G-Story models that I was seeing around town, this one actually can be powered by a battery pack, which is great, because if you are a portable monitor, you want it to be powered by a battery pack. Because if it's a portable monitor and you still have to be constrained by a power socket, what's the use? Okay, so this is Marauders. I will see you all in the next video. I hope I didn't burn my switch.